Bam! We're going live. Welcome to the show, everybody. Pro Se Lawsuit Center. Hang on a second, we get everything lined up here. We offer battle-tested legal weapons that empower ordinary people. Court without an attorney. I'm Coach Neighbors, and in this video, we're going to talk about, getting people out of jail. We have a plan for that. We're going to talk about Jesse's situation, getting him out. Before we get started, I'm going to show you guys here the book my friend and Carrie Neighbors wrote about a little something about what we went through. It's a bestseller on Amazon. It's just a tiny bit kind of overall view. My dog Lily got a hold of it when she first got here, and she hasn't chewed on it anymore. We're getting things worked out over there. Anyway, you guys should go and check out her book. We always support each other, and here's the book that I'm reading now, The Four Agreements, and I'm almost done with it. Well, you can't really see it. Okay, so let's get real. As soon as I'm done chewing my chip. So we made some changes in our offer, our program, the situation. We have a new legal option now, so people don't have to spend like $900. You have to get the false arrest lawsuit. You don't have to spend $900 now to get that lawsuit. Or come on, coach, just spit it out. Okay, so what we're doing now is we have core documents. The core documents will be the lawsuit or the counterclaim, or you can invest in both of them and still be economically saved ahead on your bank account. So our core documents are going to be $149. And right now, we only have a couple of core documents one is actually on the website, and that is the false arrest, false imprisonment, RICO verified claim, and these court documents are going to be $149. Now, the reason why we have this structure change is the real-time feedback that we've been receiving from the fighters in this program that had the courage to stand up to these people have dictated what we need to be doing. And so at first, we needed to crush the state court process because the whole entire state court operates off of statutes and codes with that aren't valid laws. They're not connected to the Constitution. Statutes and codes are not valid laws. They don't have enacting clauses, titles, or bodies. Okay, so we was attacking that, and then we moved the case a few times, but not everybody could get that done. And if they didn't respect you already, then that was even harder. So then we started using federal case law, which we already were doing, but we didn't really think about the gravity of the situation. So we started using federal case law. Well, we started addressing the fact that we are using federal case law, and those fools are on the state court. They can't respond to federal case law with statutes and codes. Bam! So that was like a big check down right there. They cannot respond to federal case law with statutes and codes. So now you're looking at some non-conventional ways of forcing them to go sit their happy ass down in a corner, as opposed to running around trying to prove stuff to the judge who they are paying. I'm just saying, check down. What we found out was that when we started addressing the fact that they can't respond to anything that we filed in state court, it made the whole game a lot easier. So all we do now is stop the state court process, and we do that by using a counterclaim. We counterclaim, and we add the state players to the counterclaim as plaintiffs. You add the state, because the state's the one that's bankrolling the whole operation. You add the judge, because the judge is the one that's taking the payment to throw you under the bus. And then you add attorney, not snitch, attorney snitch. That's what I'm talking about. We add them to the counterclaim. That's the new process that everybody can be doing, even if you don't have my stuff. Okay, now the other problem that they have is that they can't answer to anything that we file in the case. And even when we serve their happy ass over in federal court and make them come over there, they can't answer to anything that you file in federal court either, because they don't have a federal bar card. You thought I was going to say license? Hell no. None of them have a license, And that's part of the RICO crap that we address and pay work. So even when you file in federal court, they can't respond. They'll come over there and they'll act like everything is all cool. And they'll set up a hearing inside the judge's chambers and do all this nose kissing stuff and trying to clean it up. It won't matter, because if the judge allows them to file anything or do anything and the judge rules, then it's going to be a problem for the judge. I mean, look, in this program, we ain't wasting no time appealing nothing, because that's ridiculous. It's a waste of your time. When you get violated, you need to sue their ass. That's what they're trying to do to y'all. They feel like they violated because you're staying on their property. You're not just going to jail without some words to say. And I have new friends from Trinidad, and I welcome those friends in the program and in my life, because we roll without drama, and so we like to have fun, and we eat chips. Usually I have fruit, but tonight we're having chips. Okay, so back to the counterclaim process is the biggest. I don't know. It's like sliced white bread how smooth this counterclaim process is. And the reason it's smooth is because when you add the state players, come on now, follow me. When you add them as plaintiffs to your counterclaim for $200 million, and you file that in the case. Now, I didn't say serve. You just file it in the case. I don't even mail the stuff to them. I put all the email addresses right in there. I put the email address of the judge, email address of the clerk, the email address of the federal court, because that's where we're headed anyway. All the judge email address from the federal, I just email out to everybody, because you might as well know that you come to the table with your RICO counterclaim. Oh, I forgot to tell y'all. It was a RICO, false arrest, false imprisonment, violation of the Foreign Agent Registration Act. There's a couple of more in there. There's a couple of more in there. Okay, so what happens when you add them as plaintiffs to your counterclaim and then put it in the case? Okay, now, I tell people most of what everybody already knew about the legal system is BS, and it's what attorneys taught them, whatever. But this one here is probably, what we got to talk about right now is like the fact jack. Okay, so what happens when you add a bar member, and I'm going to throw this on the table, okay? Because this stopping the court process 101. I get my fingers mixed up when I'm looking at the thing. Okay, 101. And you ain't gonna win nothing. Stopping the court. Okay, what happens when you add the bar members to their own action? Bam, bam. It's like a triple body punch with a stinking. It's like with a whip leg kick right below about 8 inches below your hip, but 6 or 9 inches above the thigh. Okay, I'm measuring. Mine is a little longer than most people's. Okay, there's a pressure point there. If you kick somebody there, just so you don't even have to kick them hard. Oh, they're not going to be able to use that leg. That's how I structured this program. Now, not everybody likes to keep punching them until they give up. Some people like to knock them down and kick them after they're down. I'm all right with that. All right, as long as there's something going on after you take. Okay, so when you add the players to their own action, they can't litigate a case they're a party to. Okay, I got the right ones up. And they can't represent other members from the same law firm. Now, what? I still have trouble. What? And I'm just going to throw this on the table, okay? Because, if it was me, I want to be, especially after what they put me and my family through, I want to be the biggest butthead I can be. Short of doing anything illegal, because, I ain't trying to. I am hanging out in a situation room right now, okay? In the bunker or whatever, because, they're going to be really mad about this. My goal is to help y'all get your people out of jail or get them back in court so they can rule. The few people, okay, that invest in the premium service like Jesse did, and we'll talk about how that all worked out and some of the stuff that we did. Now, keep in mind, they already said that I was mentally ill. They told everybody for 33 months that I was crazy. They sent my ass all over the United States for mill evaluations because I was not interested in taking the deal. Okay, so when you jam them up with the counterclaim, if you want to have fun, I was gonna say cruel, mean. Oh, I think that would mean that I care about them or something. So if you want to jam them up, what if you add a state bar association to your claim? Now, okay, so it's already set up. So when they get over, when you get done crushing them in state court, but adding them to their own stuff, and then filing your real lawsuit in federal court and serving them, and when they come over there, they're gonna come over there like, shit, like they can't. Okay, so they can't respond in state level. Nobody from the state can respond that has a state bar card on state level. Oh, wait, they already couldn't because, remember, they can't respond to federal case law and federal acts or statutes and codes. Federal acts, that's how we bring criminal liability to the table for these fools. Most people don't know that the Foreign Agent Registration Act is a federal law, which makes it criminal for them to. Most people don't know that the Administrative Procedures Act of 1946, you got to put that on there if you want to look this shit up. You ain't never going to find it. You're going to find Cornell Law Library. Nah. Most people don't know that the Foreign Agent Registration Act is a federal law. It was enacted in 1937. I got it. 1937. The Foreign Agent Registration Act forces foreign agents, bar members, to disclose all of this stuff that we need to know if we were going to do the lawsuit in their conventional system over there. But nobody does that. But, it's a federal law. So if you jam the judge's ass up, the attorney or the prosecutor for a violation, oh, wait, there's another one. How about the Tucker's Act? The Tucker's Act is actually a federal law as well. The Tucker's Act stripped these players of their alleged immunity. They call it qualified immunity, okay? Qualified means you have to qualify for that shit. I can look it up in a dictionary, okay? Qualified, but in my head, because I've been through the system and been through a bunch and I ain't never been convicted of anything. And I ain't never took no deal. So when you say that, you got to throw that on the table. And I got a badge from Amazon. Yeah, I know they hate it when I throw the badge out there. Okay, so what are they going to do? When you get to federal court, you already check their ass down 3 or 4 times in state court. And you got these federal acts, which is bringing the criminal liability to the table and people don't even know. Okay, so, coach, the judge is just going to throw my stuff out. Oh. People telling me that all the time, and I already told them that was going to happen. If you beat them in the face, right, they ain't going to want to have stuff in there. But most people, if you beat them in, the judge's not going to want to have, they're not going to want to rule on any other fact. The facts jump their crap. Bam. Think about it. Everybody's, what case law for my state? Well, your state's trash anyway, so if you're telling me that, you need to go watch my video or something, or listen and get the stuff and get rolling. Okay, when you jam them up, they can't respond. And then, you order the federal, I just tell people, tell the federal judge after you serve them, demand the federal judge order their asses to the settlement table. Because, remember, they couldn't respond on nothing on the state level. They still can't respond in federal court. Because they don't have a federal. No, I didn't say license. I said I was going to say bar card. Y'all ass know that I know they don't have no license. Under Swear versus the Board of Examiners, the Supreme Court rules that no state can license to practice the law. Bam. Oh, so that whole thing that the whole y'all asses to saying you got to do this, jump through these hoops, do all this stuff. What is that? That's the local. The local rules come from the Supreme Court. I drink tea and water, but my tea is watered. It's watered down, so I don't. In the eating time, I gotta have a little bit less caffeine, so I ain't trying to get on. So I'm kind of busy right here. I am addressing this because I had somebody on YouTube left some comments that they were asking if I was drunk because of one of the short videos. I say a bunch of crazy stuff. The shorts are chopped up by AI. Sometimes they don't make sense. And I'm just going to tell you, I didn't like them at first. I didn't even waste no time with them. But then Then I figured out that I'm getting shadow banned by YouTube, and they're clicking on the people who click the people that unring the bell and all that shit. So when I go live, nobody gets notification. And there's some other stuff they do. But we use those shorts to drive traffic to our website because Google AdWords is jacking me over. All these attorneys are the ones that run these corporations, and they don't like what we're doing here. I don't know why. I got an Amazon from Badge. Okay, I'm just being silly. Okay, so once you jam them up, we ordered a federal judge to demand they come to the settlement table, the settlement conference, because they can't respond to anything. And the judge is going to, more likely than not, think that, but here's the problem. I tell you, the judge is going to throw you under the bus and do whatever. Most people, when you get thrown under the bus, you need to make sure that the reasons for the structure and the reasons why you're doing the reasons why we're doing what we're doing is because you have no chance in their administrative court. And once you address these issues, it allows you to take control of the situation. When you understand that you're in an administrative court and not a judicial court, they tricked you thinking that you think you're in a judicial court, you're in an administrative court. They can do whatever they want. The rules come from the Supreme Court, and they're not aligned with the Constitution. And most people think the Supreme Court, that's really, your state Supreme Court is. Look them up. Their rules are, we had a couple of live streams about adding the Supreme Court of your state to your lawsuit. And man, we had some grumpy people show up at that live stream that was not happy with those ideas. Okay, so our goal is not to go in their court and argue their lies and their stuff to make their judge give us their stuff that we've been paying for, or stop them from hauling us to jail so they can tap into your trust on the backside. Our job is to protect ourselves and our family and our interests so that, obviously, we're not being hauled off. Now, when everybody understands that our goal is to address the why, not so much the what. Our goal is to address the why they're able to violate you. And when you look at it like that, everybody's stuff the same. Now, there could be a difference in between the criminal and the civil or whatever. But even so, everybody's stuff is the same if you look at it from the right perspective. Not over there from their side, over here from the side that your due process is being violated with their administrative policies and procedures that are not in line with the Constitution. Okay, so the new product that would put the court documents for $149, we're using them now with doing all these other things. We don't have to worry. We things are getting done a lot faster. We don't need to use all of those documents. We haven't used all the documents and the packages now since we've been implementing these new. So I want to change this up so people can get in here and do some stuff and leave me some more. It's all about me, us, or video reviews. When I say us, is because those reviews help people see that what we're doing over here, ordinary people are still in their house, or staying out of jail, or getting out of jail, or doing this stuff. Attorneys ain't trying to help nobody get out of jail. I'm sure most of the attorneys have probably stock in their prison system, just like their politicians and stuff. I don't have any stock. Just to make sure, because I've been there, and no. If I did, I'd be closing it down. Who knows? Maybe Jesse will get to do that. Okay, let's just get on over to Jesse's part. Getting him out of jail. Now, I'm just going to throw it on the table to keep everything straight at the gate. I helped him get out, okay, but it was, I called him and they let him go. There was a little more to it than that. He had a warrant out for him, a bench warrant, which means that no matter how that goes, you're going to have to go in there and figure it out. So we put together what he needed. He had his counterclaim for RICO, false arrest, the whole 9 yards. The charging document that they were using was on municipal court. It's totally BS, and we don't want to even get into that because that'll take them. But it said that he gave them an alleged fake name, and that made him a fugitive from that point on. So they arrested him. Or Anyway, so they wanted him to go for a mental evaluation, and he refused. And he just didn't go back to court. So then something happened, and he was able to afford the premium price for my stuff. It's $1,200, between 12 and 15, depending on what. So he already invested in the lawsuit package, which now, if anybody invests in the premium package, I would give you a price for the package that you need to complete the service. And so, I put together a lawsuit for him. And I emailed it out to all of the parties involved. Okay, but before we did that, we researched the parties that we needed to research. And we found out that Julia Keck, K-E-C-K, I think is her name, is an intern. She's not even a prosecutor. Or, it says on their website that she is an intern. And my research pulled up the fact that she got her bar license like a year at that time. I did this in 7 months or 8 months or something like that ago. So she hasn't been a bar member very long, and she's already prosecuting people because they're fugitives in her mind, because they told her because they told the police officer during an illegal traffic stop. Obviously, they didn't have probable cause, or that would have been the reason why they stopped them. No. And their website says she's intern. Okay, so we set Jesse up with his stuff. He filed it already. He filed it, and then he took a copy with him to file when he got there. And he's out. He is free. So Jesse is free. And what food? Who are you? You know about my food? You've been watching. Yeah, I share my food with a lot of people. The premium packet, the premium defense situation is between 12 and 15 right now on what needs to be done. Yes, I'm drinking tea and water. I actually worked out today, so I gotta stay hydrated, man. I worked out getting a hot tub. Yeah, suck the life out of me. Going man down. Up, not down. I ain't never been. Well, I've been down when I play football, but when I box, I ain't never been down. I've been knocked silly or whatever. I ain't never had to count the lights. I didn't know how many light bulbs are up there. Just saying. Well, I help. We all work together as a team, and so I didn't know. You have to call me, man, and talk. I didn't know you part time or you lost me now. I don't know what we're talking about. Well, yeah, he said they was kind of nervous. Okay, so they took him down. He went down there to face them, and he filed his stuff. They were all like, "Oh no, you don't go like this or whatever." So he's texting me, and he's telling me they're still going to arrest him, whatever. And so I was already getting ready to add. I added that person to the supplemental pleading because I already had it ready. I added that person to the supplemental pleading, and I emailed it over to everybody while he was talking to me. Yeah. And I told him, I said, yeah, so the dude that put the cuffs on you, you might want to let him know. I just emailed them a copy of the lawsuit pleading, of supplemental pleading, and that person added to it. So you might want to let them know that person's going to need to go get the supervisor or something or whatever. They was pretty nervous, but they locked him up anyway for a day or so. I sent them over all the stuff. We looked up the email address, and this is how I roll. And this is done the course that we're going to have, the court accountability course. I'm going to teach you guys. I'm going to teach people who get in that course how to do what I do. And I use People Looker. We look these people up. We figure out. And you gonna be surprised, Judge Sharon Ransom in California, Dr. Honigman's judge was trying to kick her out, and she was still in her house. Sheriff showed up twice in her house. Judge Sharon, she's a judge under one of her alias names. Now, most of the people are judge under their regular name. Didn't have all these aliases. I haven't had a chance to figure out what everybody's aliases is because I don't have time to look those up. But when you look it up, you find out there's 14 aliases. What? Who the hell has 14 aliases? Oh, wait. She's a judge from an alias name. That's some creepy ass fraud shit. I ain't never run. Now, I ain't surprised here. I don't need to breathe in a bag or nothing. I breathe them on toilet paper. Because after what I've been through, I'm talking to my family. I guess I can stole a lot of, because y'all ass wouldn't be here if you hadn't been through some shit of what we've been doing. You know, way hell, I don't be surprised at anything. As a matter of fact, what helps me roll better through this shit is I already show up sniffing for the smell. Yeah, I have people calling me, oh, how can I take your stuff over here into my, no. No, you need to bring that smelly stuff over here. That's how we do it. Okay, so they arrested him, and he called me, from jail. And so when you call me from jail, that I'm talking crap. And but he was all laughing and shit. He's like, Coach, it's all good. I'm like, yeah, no, dude, you still locked up? Yeah, it's all good. He's like, I like the resort here. The amenities are really good. Okay, I'm like, okay, dude, now I see why you don't want your ass to take a meal evaluation, because I told them I liked the food there. I wasn't ready to go home. Okay, but I was talking shit, and I told them right in the phone what we're doing. I know that shit's recorded. They listened to that shit, and I told them that Julia Keck, whatever her name is, it says she's an intern on the website. So and what day I'm headed there, when I call them right before I get there. I don't care. They can't stop the facts. So we looked up Miss Julia Keck's situation. We looked up her personal property and her email addresses and all of her stuff. And then we included all that stuff in our. She got a little creeped out. She put out a restraining order on, Jesse said on him and me. Put on damn restraining order out on me. She didn't put one out on me either. So the real-time communication from us to the prosecutor and to the court while Jesse's standing there. Okay, so I told him that what we're going to do is, if you pay me for the premium service, shit, we're stuck that I don't even have. Okay, so I whipped out the habeas corpus. Now, y'all know that shit's like, 3 to 7K or maybe higher. Mine's more powerful, so I don't have to charge that much. I didn't charge it. So I whipped out the habeas corpus, and then I sent in the mandamus. That's like a 1-2 punch with a front kick to that area on your front thigh right there. You slide over to the left or the right. It's just like a tiger. Tigers always want to attack from the back. You jam them up in the front so they can't move and slide around to the side. Okay, so here's the thing. All of those people who are added to the email, all of those federal judges, all of the clerks to the table with a RICO claim, all of those people are co-conspirators and don't even have to know. They have to know that what they're doing in a whole, but they don't have to know exactly what these people are doing to make the extra illegal money. Oh, wait, they're getting paid from the same money. Now they're RICO co-conspirators. And it only takes one to check out. It only takes one. And you know who that one is when you come to the table, RICO? It's the judge. Just in case you don't know, it's the judge. Judge is not going to have the name on RICO. You know why? I'll tell you why. Because in my opinion, the judge's canons, 436, all of that stuff in that area right there, in my opinion, that's the RICO operation for their corporation. Go read that shit. I didn't get to page 5. I had enough. Oh, the judges have to be impartial. They're not doing none of that. Oh, wait. This is their RICO manual to shoved in our face to make us think they're following these. Are they following the rules? I don't know. I play football and I box. So those two things not smart people do. So I'm going to do a check. Are they following any rules? No, I do know that. I'm smart enough to know that they ain't following no rules. Okay, so Jesse called me. I was like, he said, there was only like $200. He paid me in full. So I'm like, you know what? I ain't worried about it. I'll just call him. He's like, that'd be great, because. Okay, so I called the bail bondsman. His name was Steven. We talked for a little while. And I told him the situation. And he said, okay, Mr. Neighbors, I'm going to send you over the contract. It's a contract. Now, I just want to pay this man so he can get out and take care of his business. I said, what's his contract for? Well, the contract is for me to be liable if he don't show up for court. Okay, Mr. Steven, I don't think you understand the situation right here, okay? Because Jesse showed up for court knowing he was going to get arrested, filed his lawsuit 2 days prior, showed up with a copy of his claim to sue them for criminal RICO, and they arrested him anyway. And then I got involved, and then we added, and I said the dude's name. We added him in a supplemental pleading, and I said that just be dandy. Make him. I got to sign. We kicking their asses. Oh, wait, and all I did let him know that Julia Keck, the website says she's an intern. She's not even a prosecutor. So that's going to be a situation. But, he got out. And then we sent them a few more. We made several videos, like a bunch of videos. And that's part of the, I like to call the video beat down, but some other nicer people said that I should call it video evidence or whatever. And these videos show up, right? You can go to the channel on YouTube and punch in Judge Annie T. Kristoff from Tennessee, Shelby County, Tennessee, and she's a magistrate judge on a federal level. And our videos pulled up right underneath the federal court's website. I was looking for a picture of Judge Annie T. Kristoff, and I actually use her picture all the time. And bam, it pulled up our video right underneath the website, and the metadata in the video said, the metadata is the words that you can read before you click on it. It gives you the power if you want to click on it or not. And the metadata said Judge Annie T. Kristoff being sued for helping fellow bar members. Yeah. So when you do this the right way, you remove the focus off of the what they did to you. Okay. The why they're able to do what they did. If you focus on the what, and then the arguing ensues and their buddy judge gets to help them. It's pretty simple to me. I got that part figured out. So we focus on the why they're able to violate you in the first place. Oh, they violate you because they trained you to believe that you have a right. And the only right you have is to shut the hell up. I usually use the word F in there, but I'm just trying to clean up a little. Shut the hell up. And, I could put it nicer. You got the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. Bam! They tell you right at the gate when they got their knee on your neck and your face is in the ground that you got the right to shut the hell, to be silent. And they don't tell me, they didn't, I've had to have them a few times. They didn't put their knee on my neck because I'm like, we don't need to have that shit. Y'all just throw the cups over. Yeah, we don't need to have all that rough shit, okay? Because all of this shit is going to be dragged into court at some point in time. So that's kind of how that goes. So Jesse's out now, and so they let him out. The prosecutor put a restraining order against us, and she was mad because we email her. We have to stay 500 yards away from her. We can't email her. I emailed her like 3 or 4 times after that. I tell her I didn't give a shit about her. She's over here violating everything. I wonder how many people Julia Haig violated. How many people? And I also wonder who's supposed to be signing off on her stuff and why they're not. And why is she doing what she's doing? What's she bringing to the table to get to do that stuff that ain't nobody else supposed to be doing or doing? I don't know. Maybe they are doing it. I don't know a lot, but what I do know is stinking. And so, we're going to wait till after Christmas, give them a little time to chew on little lump that they got stuck in their throat right now and figure out how they want to do it. So we'll give them a little time. We'll be communicating with them right after Christmas. And we got a couple of irons in the fire, too, that we're going to be taking care of right after Christmas. So if you guys got a criminal situation, you want to get somebody home, you can give me a call. 913-240-0227. Don't call me at 4 in the morning. It'd be better to call me after 10 a.m. Central Standard Time and late too, because I'm usually up late every night. So as you can see, I'm up late. You can't see at night because I'm not where there's any windows. This is the situation room. This is where you want to be if there's a situation. Okay, guys, thank you for the value of sharing your time. And I got to go get my puppy.